Hey guys, it's Ariana, and this video is kind of late. I meant to put all my end of the year videos up at the end of last year, but my SD card broke and then I didn't have an SD card and so many things went wrong. But that's besides the point. Anyways, today I'm bringing you my top 10 albums of 2017. I of course had to film this video. I've had my list written out for a while now. It was actually kind of hard to make. The first 5 albums were my top 5 albums were so easy to choose, but then when I got to 5 to 10, I feel like I had a lot harder time choosing albums because there's so many different things that could be in there. Anyways, so yeah, this is my top 10. These aren't the best albums that came out last year. I don't know. These are just my favorite ones that came out this year and ones that I listened to a lot, really like the sound of, stuff like that. So first I'm going to start off with honorable mentions because I have so many, because all of these, some of these I really they needed to be on my list and they didn't make it, but I still wanted to mention them because they're great albums, so yeah. So I'm just gonna go through these quickly. I have Heatwave by Trapped Under Ice, Damn by Kendrick Lamar, As You Please by Citizen, Lil Pump self-titled, Blessed by the Burn, Left Behind, Nomad, Kublai Khan, I don't know how to say their name, Soul Structure, Higher Power, Flower Boy, Tyler the Creator, Torture Culture by No Warning, Sweet Minds of the Dark Side by Queensway, and then All We Know of Heaven, All We Need of Hell by Paris. So now let's actually get into my top 10 favorite albums. So at number 10 I have Pain Again by Varials. So this is a heavier album. It came out I think in the summertime, and I remember when the first time I listened to it I was like, I'm gonna love this album. It has such a unique sound. It goes so hard. I feel like I really want to see them live. I feel like that'd be really lit. I feel like a lot of people compare them to Knocked Loose. Not that they sound the same, but that they have this uniqueness to them that separates them from other bands. I remember I heard about this band because of their single Pain Again, and I literally fell in love with the single right away, and I was like, I need to hear the album. And then I heard the album and I was not disappointed. I was listening to it in the car with my headphones on, and it was so good, and I couldn't stop listening to it for a good 2 weeks. I just listened to this album non-stop and I still love it to this day. I think it's a great album. Just not one that I listen to the most out of the year, that's why it's number 10, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. And if you like heavy music and haven't checked out Varials, I don't know what you're doing. So next at number 9 is Bad to My World by Backtrack. So if you listen to hardcore, you probably have heard of this album or this band. This album just came out recently, I think a month ago or something, and I heard it and I was blown away. Literally the starting track, War, grabs your attention right away. It's so good. And it's just a classic hardcore sounding record, I guess. I'm never bored. While listening to this album front to back, I never get bored of it. Yeah, most people know who Backtrack is. If you haven't listened to this album, I don't know what you're doing. It's a great hardcore album and I'm obsessed with it. Next at number 8 is Good Nature by Turnover. So this was actually higher up on my list at first, but it got pushed down to number 8. And I don't know, because when this first came out, I was I love this album so much. I like it better than Peripheral Vision. It's so good. But since then, my mind has changed. I don't think it's as good, but I still really like it. My favorite song on the album is Pure Devotion. It's so good. I don't know how anyone could have a different favorite song because I just think that's the best sounding song on the album. But when this came out, yeah, I told you I was obsessed with it. I thought it was one of their best works that they ever came out with. But now it's just I like it. It's a good turnover album. It's nice and chill. At number 7 is the only metal album on this list, and that is Nightmare Logic by Power Trip. So if you've been watching my channel, you might not be surprised about this one because I feel like I've talked about this album quite a bit. I'm currently wearing a Power Trip shirt today. Power Trip is a thrash metal band, and I was supposed to see them live I don't know, they did a headline show here at the end of a couple months ago, and I went and I didn't see Power Trip. I'm still upset about it. I feel since getting into hardcore, I've been more open to metal. I'm more into I like some thrash bands now, and Power Trip is one of the first thrash bands I've gone to on my own without someone recommending them to me, and I think this album is just so good. Yeah, literally from the first time I listened to it, I was blown away. It's such a good thrash album, and so many people love this album. My favorite song on this album is If Not Us, Then Who. But if you're gonna listen to them for the first time, I recommend listening to Executioner's Tax. I think it's their most popular song. Not really sure. I also really like the song Waiting Around to Die. It's so good. Next at number 6 is You're Not As Blank As You Think by Sorority Noise, and I am obsessed with this album. When this album first came out, I honestly didn't really like it that much. Like, I liked it and it was Sorority Noise, but like, I'm like, it's just like mediocre. Wasn't really into it. But then, like a couple months ago, I listened to it again after I saw them live at the Citizen Show, and I was like, this album is so good. I think it might be my favorite album now by them. Not too sure, but it is amazing. My favorite song on this album might be A Better Son. I'm not sure. They're all so good. At first this wasn't gonna make my list, but then I'm like, I listened to this album way too much for it not to be on this list. Like, I literally listened to this album 24/7. It's so good, so sad, and like, I just think this is their best album. Like, I never thought I'd say that, because like when I first listened to it, I wasn't even like that into the album, but now I'm so obsessed with it that like, just wow, it's so good. Next at number 5 is One Last Prayer by Forced Order. So I got into Forced Order this year actually when this album came out. Yeah, it came out in September, and I feel like not enough people are talking about this album. Like, on people's end of the— I have not seen this album on that many people's end of the year list, and I'm kind of shook because like, it is so amazing. It's one of the albums that I think, like, I feel like since September, like, after listening to this album, I got into a lot more hardcore bands. So I feel like this album, like, I don't know, it really got me into just more bands. And like, I don't even know what my favorite song is because I love them all. Like, front to back, an amazing album. I mean, that's why it's number 5 on my list. If you like hardcore, you'll like this album. Has like just a classic-y like hardcore sound, I guess. Next at number 4 is an album that came out at the very beginning of 2017 and that I listened to continuously from the beginning of 2017 to the end of 2017, and that is Forever by Code Orange. Now, I feel like everyone knows about Code Orange now. Like, literally everyone. They broke out of that like underground like community. They're actually nominated for a Grammy this year, and like, props to them. They're so good. I saw them live in September, I think, and like, I didn't see their full set, but from what I did see, it blew me away. I've never seen a band perform live with that much energy in my life. And like, from the moment I've heard this album, like, I was like, how does someone come out with an album this good? Honestly, I like every single song on this album. I think my favorite might be Real, because I really like when it goes, "This is real now, motherfucker." Like, it's just like a good line, you know? Gets me going. Okay, we are now moving up into my top 3, which is pretty exciting. So at number 3, we have Feel Something by Movement. So originally this was number 2 on my list, but I had to switch number 2 and 3 around. Okay, like, it was a hard decision, but I had to do it. So, Feel Something by Movements. I have loved Movements for so long. Ever since they went on that tour with Pierce the Veil, and like, I'm really proud of them for getting like recognition and stuff, but like, just sometimes on Twitter it's kind of annoying, if you know what I mean. This was one of my most anticipated albums for last year. I needed new material from Movements. Like, I needed it. It was not a want, it was a need. And when they released this, I was not disappointed. Like, it's different, it's a different sound than Outgrown Things, which is their EP. I feel like Outgrown Things is more like raw sounding, and it has a lot more of like that talking, spoken word kind of feel to it. Feel Something has that, it's just like not as much, but like, I still love the album so much. I've been listening to it non-stop since it came out. I don't even know, like, did it come out in October, November? Not too sure, but from like, I honestly love it so much, and like, I'm still not sick of it, which is surprising because of the amount of times I've listened to that. Wow. So next at number 2 is You're Not You Anymore by Counterparts. Now, I love Counterparts, and this album did not disappoint. I don't think this is their best material yet. I feel like with Counterparts, just like, with every album they release, the better their music gets, which is not the case for a lot of bands. So like, props to them, you know? This album came out not too long ago, and like, I'm so oh, actually it came out in September. I feel like it came out a lot later than that, but I guess it came out in September. My favorite song, I don't even know. Ooh, I really like No Servant of Mine. Honestly, that's such a good song. Like, it's so good. But then literally, I don't know, every song is amazing. Like, there's not one song on the album that I don't like. Now for my #1 album of the year, you guys probably aren't surprised because like I feel like I talk about them a lot, whether it's on Twitter or on YouTube or in real life. I talk about them a lot because they're like the band that really got me into hardcore, I feel like. So I really love them, you know? So that is 1,000 Mile Stare by, I said their name wrong last time and so many people called me out. I think it's Incendiary or something. So gross. I don't know why that word is pronounced that way. This album came out in May and it left me shook. Now, I don't think it's as good as their previous album. I got into Incendiary. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna laugh every time I say it because it sounds like such a fake word. I got into them like end of 2016, beginning of 2017 maybe. Yeah, so I checked out Cost of Living whenever I got into them, and then I heard they were coming out with the new album in 2017 and I was so excited, and then 1,000 Mile Stare came out and I was literally I was shook. It's so good from front to back. I love it so much. I am not sick of it and I've been listening to it since it came out in May, like non-stop. The best songs, I don't know, I really like The Product Is You, Sell Your Cause, Still Burning. I don't know, like every song is so good. If you like hardcore, you probably listen to this album. If you watch my channel, you probably already listened to this album because I talk about it a lot. But yes, I love it so much. The best album that came out this year in my opinion. Anyways, those are my top 10 albums of 2017 plus my honorable mentions. Comment down below what your top albums were this year. I'd love to know. I love checking out new music. But yeah, this is just my list. Don't get mad if I didn't include something that you like. I just may not like it. Okay? Okay. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Remember to smile and I'll see you guys next time for another video. Bye guys!